go.
I appreciate it. Thank you now.
Yep, take care. Good.
All right, I finally got everything hooked up here. Got the hoses on, the wiring plugged in. So this one does have the electrical for the trapdoor to operate that. This is the TMC CANCELA TWF 180, which is 70 inches wide right there. So Ira, would you like to kind of tell me a little bit more about it here? We got, how many cutting knives are on this particular?
We got 42 knives and teeth combo. On the outside edge we have a carbide on each one of the outside edges.
So the knives are the flat ones right here. Yes, and then the carbide are the more, they kind of look like a cutter on like a fellow buncher or something like that.
Exactly. Those carbides are a lot more rugged. They'll take a lot more abuse in case you was to happen to get a rock stuck in between the side and the tooth. It's going to take a lot more abuse.
So you can run the carbides over the whole drum. You're just not going to have that finished product. It's going to, you're more beating it apart with the carbides. But you know, if you're in a lot of rock or something like that, you can do that, or sand or whatever.
A rocky environment or real harsh environment, you're better off to use the carbide teeth. But for what we're going to look at here, the knives are a great use for it.
Option for this. Should give me a good, so I'm going to be mostly, you know, smaller hardwood stuff and pine and more softer wood down here.
And what we got that's a lot different than a lot of the other people, we actually got like a serrated counter blades is what we call them. And what these blades do is whenever you come and shut the door down, it'll help grind the material up better.
Because as this door is folded down, it's holding everything in here, allowing that material to keep grinding away.
And not only do we have them on here, but they're actually on the liner in the back as well.
Oh, okay. So it really, oh yeah, see, it doesn't leave a lot of room for that material to get away from that knife pretty much. So it's going to sit there and grinding away in there and chew it up as small as possible.
And the great thing about this is these actually work as a bolt-in liner. So you can actually, whenever you go to change the liner, you can just change those in and out. Because a lot of the liners, you have to cut them in, and you'll have to cut the whole thing out and weld it in. Where you got this in here that's easy to access and easy to change out.
Well, I took a couple trees down with it. This is actually the first time I've ever run a mulcher. Like I said, this is the TMC CANCELA. It's a Spanish brand that's over here now. A local dealer has picked them up, and I'm trying it out here to see how it works for me. So like I said, I don't have a whole lot of mulching experience, but they came over here and got everything set up. Had to get the RPM set up on it to match this machine and the wiring hooked up. So they did have different brand machines, have different wiring plugs. So we got a little adapter right here that runs the valve to control the trap door right here. So when you're mulching and you don't want stuff flying out, you can let that door down, and it helps keep the material in there to chew it up better. So yeah, I'm excited. There's a learning curve on using it, which I have found out. You got to keep it just right, not let it sink in too much, because dirt, rocks is not its friend. This is what I'm shooting for. As you can tell, I got a little happy in a few spots right there and got down there to the dirt. Probably not the end of the world, but I need to keep it up off the ground a little bit better. Dead tree I took down. I got this mulched up just like I wanted. About 3 inches of pine straw and mulch. That should kind of help choke the weeds down. It's like I said before, I'm not a huge fan of mulching for like house lots and pasture and stuff like that, but for areas like in the woods right here, where it doesn't matter if there's still stumps ground off or anything's ever going to be built, it's like the perfect scenario for it. Come in here, thin the woods out, you have the mulch to keep weeds down and all that. But yeah, I'm learning. I got into the dirt a little bit here, but like I said, it takes a little bit of a learning curve if you've never used it before. I'm gonna run over that mulch side up a little bit better and drop these 2 or 3 trees right here and see how well that works, getting those mulched up. all in all, I'm happy with it. That was about 4 trees I've taken down. Like I mentioned before, I have never ran a mulching head before, so I'm sure I look like a rookie doing it, but practice makes perfect. So just learning on how to keep the head there, not dig into the dirt, kind of keep everything so when you're going forwards and backwards, I'm not dragging it all back behind the head here. But this thing is pretty beefy here. It's a stout cutting head. So I was looking online, they've been making these things for like 40 years overseas, but they make a lot of the big mulchers and subsoiler stuff to go behind tractors. I mean, like 300 or 400 horsepower tractors, where they take this stuff, they mulch it down, and then they have the machine that goes in there and puts it into the ground. I mean, it subsoils at like 12 to 18 inches and mix everything back in the dirt, which I kind of like that idea, but I don't have. It's just we haven't really had any experience with stuff like that over here, and a 400 horsepower tractor is no joke. Yeah, I need to run over that and get that mulched up a little bit better, but finished product like that, I'm happy with it. I'll use it a little bit more and keep getting a feel for it and make some trails over there on the new farm. Well, that was definitely a big tree. That thing was almost 24 inches at the base. It took a little bit of time, but I've got it all turned into mulch. I'll probably come over here once I take the mulcher off and take the bucket and just push it over here, just kind of around the, make that kind of a little natural area right there where those rocks are. But yeah, that tree, I know it couldn't tell in the video, but half of it was dead, along with the other two right here that I already took down. So it did a great job. I've had enough for today, so I'm gonna go park this under the shelter and clean this up later on. Mulcher did great.